Athens, city of philosophy, democracy, and, according to Diogenes, not a single honest man. Diogenes of Sinope, c. 412 to 323 BCE, was the founder of Cynic philosophy, or at least its most famous practitioner. The Cynics believed that civilization was corrupt, that social conventions were lies, and that the only honest life was one stripped of pretension. Diogenes took this to extremes. He lived homeless by choice, slept in a large ceramic jar, and deliberately violated social norms to expose their arbitrariness. His confrontation with Alexander the Great is legendary, but his most iconic act, carrying a lamp in daylight while searching for an honest man, has resonated for over 2,000 years as a symbol of the difficulty of finding authenticity in human society. The philosopher. Diogenes came to Athens as a disgraced man. His father had been a banker in Sinope who debased the currency, either literally counterfeiting coins or by changing the value. Diogenes was exiled, but he turned his disgrace into a philosophy. He would now debase the currency of social values, showing them to be as false as counterfeit coins. He needed nothing, not home, not wealth, not reputation. That was his power. He rejected everything that Athens valued. Wealth? He owned nothing but a cloak and a wooden bowl, and he threw away the bowl. Home? He slept in a large ceramic jar in the marketplace. Social status? He deliberately behaved in ways that violated every norm, eating in public, defecating in public, insulting the powerful. Athens was scandalized but fascinated. Diogenes was impossible to shame because he had no shame. He was impossible to punish because he wanted nothing they could take away. He lived like a dog. Indeed, cynic comes from the Greek word for dog, and was proud of it. Plato called him a Socrates gone mad. Diogenes replied that Plato was Socrates gone soft. The two philosophers represented opposite approaches to wisdom. Plato built an academy. Diogenes lived in a barrel. The lamp. One day, Diogenes walked through the streets of Athens carrying a lit lamp. It was the middle of the day. The sun was shining brightly. A lamp was completely unnecessary, and that was exactly the point. I am looking for an honest man, and the lamp only made the failure more visible. People stopped to stare. What are you doing? They asked. Why carry a lamp in daylight? Diogenes looked at them sadly and replied, I am just looking for an honest man. The lamplight couldn't help because honesty wasn't invisible due to darkness but due to its rarity. In all of bright, civilized Athens, city of democracy, city of philosophy, city of enlightenment, Diogenes claimed he could not find a single person who was truly honest. The insult was magnificent because it was unanswerable. Anyone who protested that they were honest was probably not. Anyone who agreed with Diogenes admitted that they too were dishonest. The only response was uncomfortable silence, or laughter at human pretension, which is what Diogenes wanted. The king Diogenes' fame spread even to Alexander the Great, the most powerful man in the world. When Alexander came to Athens, he visited the famous philosopher, curious to meet someone who owned nothing and feared no one. Stand out of my light, the only thing a king could give him. Diogenes was sunbathing outside his barrel. Alexander approached with his royal guard and announced himself, I am Alexander, the great king. Diogenes did not get up. I am Diogenes, the dog, he replied calmly. Alexander, impressed rather than offended, asked if there was anything he could do for the philosopher. Any gift, any favor, he could have anything Alexander could grant. Diogenes considered, then said, yes. Stand out of my light. Alexander was blocking the sun. That was the only thing Diogenes wanted from the most powerful man on earth, to stop blocking his sunlight. Alexander reportedly said, if I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes. To which Diogenes probably replied, if I were not Diogenes, I would also wish to be Diogenes. The legacy. Diogenes died around 323 BCE, the same year as Alexander. Legend says he asked to be thrown out like garbage after death, since the dogs and birds might as well have him. His followers claimed he died by deliberately holding his breath, but more likely it was the effects of age and a hard life. The lamp is still burning, still asking if we're honest enough to be found. His lamp became a lasting symbol. The phrase, looking for an honest man, has been used for over 2,000 years to describe the difficulty of finding authenticity in human society. The image of the philosopher with the daylight lamp appears in paintings, statues, and references throughout Western culture. The Cynics as a school did not survive antiquity, but their ideas influenced the Stoics, the early Christians, and many countercultural movements since. Diogenes' rejection of materialism, his mockery of social pretension, and his fierce independence have inspired everyone from medieval monks to modern minimalists. Was Diogenes right? Was there no honest man in Athens? Or anywhere? Perhaps his point was not that honesty is impossible but that it is rare enough to require a search. The lamp is still burning in the libraries and galleries of the world, still challenging us to ask, are we honest? Would Diogenes find what he was looking for in us?